what is going on, guys? Welcome back here to the channel. And a lot of things have been going on the car here, but now that I've put about 1,500 miles or so on the car, I wanted to take a second and talk about some things that I really dislike on the car. And if you are potentially in the market for a new S650, whether it's a dark horse or just a regular 5.0 GT, then you're probably going to want to pay attention and watch a couple of things that we talk about, because I haven't really heard too many people talk about these things in particular. But before we jump into the meat and potatoes of the video today, let's go ahead and do a quick walk around the car, because I've been quite busy modding it, doing little things here and there, and I want to show you guys where we're at so far. Jumping right into the mods here, the first thing that we did was the Steeda dual rate lowering springs. I think the fitment looks pretty dang good here on the dark horse. I kind of wish it was a little bit lower in the front, just to get rid of a little bit more wheel gap, but I think that we're going to be able to maybe solve a lot of those issues when it comes to adding the new wheel and tire setup that we have coming for the car. The wheels are currently getting made right now. They're getting milled, and we're just kind of waiting on those guys. Here you can see the rear end of the car. The tire tucks just a little bit, and we've got maybe like a 1 finger gap there. So I think it looks really, really good. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section of this video. Outside of that, we also did go ahead and PPF the entire front end of the car. So fenders, hood, the entire front bumper, and then the mirror caps as well. And that came out pretty dang good as well. But here where they PPF'd over the sticker, so this is with like a stealth PPF, or like it makes it look matte, so the stickers still look matte, but there's some edges here that you can kind of see when the lights hit it, right? So I'm bringing it back in to the shop, I believe next week, to have them kind of try to figure out a different solution for that. But it is PPF'd. Now I don't have to worry about a bunch of rock chips, especially here in Arizona. It gets kind of crazy if you're doing a lot of freeway driving. And the windshields, like we go through windshields pretty often here. This is kind of one of those things that you come to live with, right? Outside of that, we did go ahead and add that dark horse handling pack front splitter, so it looks a little bit different, and I think that this completely changes the entire look of the front end, and I really, really love the way that that came out. A couple more things. I'm gonna pop the hood real quick and show you guys some other things that we've done to the car. So opening up the hood here, we've gone ahead and installed the UPR catch can setup. So we have one here on the clean side, if you can kind of see that guy. It's pretty tight in here getting them installed. And then we have one on the dirty side as well. I put that on maybe 500 miles ago, so I started with just the dirty side, and then yesterday I threw on the clean side as well. But I checked that yesterday, there was definitely some oil in that, emptied it out. And they recommend essentially that you install it if you're going to install a catch can, and then wait 500 miles, so that way you can kind of gauge how often you're going to need to check it, right? So we'll do the same thing with the clean side over there. Then we also came in here and did the carbon trap delete in the intakes to hopefully wake it up a little bit. I haven't been able to personally feel a horsepower difference. However, I know that there's guys that dyno these after, and you can pretty reasonably gain, upwards of 15 horsepower in torque based on some numbers that we've seen other guys when they're running them on the dyno. So that is going to bring you up to speed on what we've done to the car so far. Also, what I did yesterday is I went ahead and scheduled the Whipple install for the car. Still waiting on the kit to get here. That's realistically probably going to take 8 to 10 weeks to receive the kit and then have that installed, but we're super excited to put that on here because this car desperately needs a little bit of boost, but it's so much fun to drive. Jumping right into the things that I kind of really dislike about the car, the first thing that we're going to be talking about is that when I wash this car is unprecedented in the amount of water that it wants to hold on to. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So here in the back end of the car, where the taillight's at, where the rear spoiler are, this just holds on to so much water. So if I wash it, even if I blow everything out, at the end of the day, if I go to take the car home from the shop, I'm still getting water like draining down the side panels, things like that, really on the rear end of the car and on the side mirrors too. Now I get that this is something that happens with a lot of cars, but for me, when I compare it to the last car I had, it was just such an easy experience washing the car. And obviously for me, as a detailer, owning a detail shop, it's something that I'm doing frequently to the car, so it's always an issue that I run into. Maybe for other people that are not really too worried about it, this wouldn't be an issue, but since this is a black car and you can really see the water spots on it when it does happen, it's kind of a pain in the ass, if I'm being completely honest. Jumping inside of the car for this next one, and really this is going to be for people that only have the Recaros, because I believe the setup on the regular seats is a little bit different. But really, I'm talking about that seatbelt holder right there. So as you can see, if I try to put the seatbelt in there, it doesn't stay in for anything, right? And then if you try to go put the seatbelt on, it just comes right out, and it's super frustrating because essentially, at least with me, the seatbelt is never in the little holder, and it ends up like with the seatbelt being right around my neck. Super annoying. I don't know if there's kind of any solutions for that. If you happen to know of one, definitely let me know down below in the comment section. But also too, since the passenger side doesn't sit on there like it should or hold in there, the seatbelt is constantly like flapping in the wind if I'm driving with the windows down. Again, just something that's super annoying. And it's like, come on, Ford. Why did you not have a solution for that before you put the car out? It just doesn't make sense to me. We're inside of the car now, and I'll show you the next one. If I start the car, it's probably going to be very loud, and this might not be able to show up, but essentially you can probably relate. Basically, you have this little pony button there, a little Mustang button that takes you into your track apps. Well, if you haven't been in the car recently and you kind of just jump in, that takes forever to like populate, right? So just one of those annoyances. Let me see if I can kind of simulate that for you now. So there, because I was just driving the car, it kind of went into it right away. But for the first time that I get into the car for the day, it's something that takes super long to kind of get into, and then you could be able to adjust your exhaust, right? But typically I always run with the exhaust in track mode, just because it sounds really, really good. But it's just one of those little annoyances. I had this same issue like a while ago when I had a Scat Pack, where to get into the performance pages, you had to press a button, and it just took an insanely long amount of time. So that's just another little annoyance that I have with the car overall. So overall, I'm super happy with the car, and I know that those things that I just talked about here about the car they're not very big things, right? And if those are the only things that I'm kind of concerned about when it comes to the car, you know, I'll take it. But the overall drivability of the car has been amazing. And to kind of compare it to the G87 M2 that I had prior to this car, it's really, like, I would say that the M2, stock for stock, is definitely a faster car, but this car is just so much more fun to drive because it's the manual. The Tremec in this thing is absolutely insane, and I love it. I find myself not even listening to music when I drive, just because the car sounds so incredible. And even before I did any of the exhaust modifications on the car, it already sounded great stock. So overall, I'm super impressed with the car. I am going to be working on a video like directly comparing the M2 to the Dark Horse, because they're right in that same ballpark price-wise. If you want to see that video, definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. But that is going to wrap up our video for today. And if you have any fixes to the issues that I explained in the video about the car, definitely let me know down below in the comment section. And thank you all so much for tuning into today's video. We'll catch you on the next one.